Ambato, Ecuador. Ambato Spanish pronunciation, Ambato. Full form, San Juan de Ambato, Quechua. Ampatu Llaqta is a city located in the central Andean valley of Ecuador, lying on the banks of the Ambato River. The city also sits beneath several tall mountains. It is the capital of the province of Tungurahua, at an elevation of 2577 meters above sea level. It is variously nicknamed City of Flowers and Fruit. The current mayor of Ambato is Javier Altamirano. The city has been fully or partially destroyed by earthquakes several times in its history, most recently on 5 August 1949. The city was rebuilt in the 2 years following. In honor of the tenacity of the resident Ambateños, the city celebrates the Festival of Fruits and Flowers during Carnival in February. Today, the Festival of Fruits and Flowers is one of the most important in Ecuador. The city is referred to as Cradle of the Three Juans as it was the birthplace of three notable Ecuadorians: Juan Montalvo, a noted essayist of the 19th century, Juan Leon Mira, the author of the country's national anthem, and Juan Benigno Vela, a key figure in the Ecuadorian independence movement. The city is well known for its production of fruit, tanneries, food products, and textiles. It also serves as a major transportation hub, especially for travelers moving south on the Pan-American Highway. History. The city of Ambato was founded in its present location on December 6, 1698, as the seat of Ambato, on the request of Ambateños to the royal audience of Quito. For the next century, Ambato grew slowly into an important mountain center. The city was to play a pivotal role in the Ecuadorian War of Independence. On October 9, 1820, the citizens of Guayaquil, along with help from a number of Venezuelans and Colombians, declared independence from the Spanish monarchy. The group raised an army known as the Junta de Guayaquil and began to move against Spanish forces in Quito. On their way to Quito, Ambato was one of the first cities to be liberated. The city formally declared its separation from Spain on November 12, 1820. After liberating Ambato, the Junta de Guayaquil then turned their attention to Quito. Under the command of Colonel Luis Urdaneta, the army had liberated most of the central highland region, but Quito and the northern highland region were still under the authority of the royal audience. Field Marshal Melchor Aymerich, acting president and commander of the royalist army, took swift action and ordered forces to march on the Urdaneta's army stationed in Ambato. Urdaneta's army met the royalists, led by Colonel Francisco Gonzales, at the First Battle of Huachi just outside Ambato, on 22 November 1820, and were soundly defeated. Urdaneta retreated and Gonzales entered Ambato. A year later, the reformed patriots, under Antonio José de Sucre, left their position in Babahoyo to retake the highlands. In September 1821, the forces left the city, marching to reconquer Garanda. On 12 September 1821, Sucre met the same fate as Urdaneta in the Second Battle of Huachi. Aymerich's forces defeated Sucre in the same plains that now form the neighborhood of Huachi, just southeast of downtown Ambato. Sucre returned to Guayaquil once more. In 1822, the tide began to turn for Ambato and the rest of the towns in the central mountains. After 2 attempts to take the highlands, Sucre and the revolutionaries had built an excellent network of spies and a dedicated spirit of liberation. They had also had some luck. In 1821, the Spanish monarch, Fernando Roman VII, had sent his own commander, General Murgen, to lead the royalist defense in Quito. Murgen arrived in November only to fall terminally ill in the spring of 1822. At the same time, Sucre was marching his army south to Macora to meet up with Peruvian forces sent by General José de San Martin. From Loja they moved north, retaking Riobamba in April. Ambato was retaken soon after, and the royalists were soon defeated at the Battle of Pichincha. During the early years of the Republic of Ecuador, the city served as an important cultural and economic center. Several times, Ambato served as the setting for rewriting of constitutions and continued to produce excellent artists and thinkers like Montalvo and Mira. On 5 August 1949, the city was struck by a devastating earthquake. It is estimated that more than 6,000 people died, and thousands more were left homeless and destitute by the disaster. Much of the city's colonial center was completely ruined, including the cathedral that many considered on par with Cuenca's Iglesia de El Sagrario. The city was rebuilt with significant help from international aid organizations and the Ecuadorian government. The new modernist cathedral was inaugurated on 12 December 1954. Geography. Ambato lies in the main valley of the Central Cordillera, the highest of the Andean mountain ranges. The city itself is carved into the side of Cerro Casagana, the mountain that dominates the north end of the city. From Ambato, it is possible to see many snow-capped volcanoes including Cotopaxi, Tungurahua, Carihuarazo, and the largest mountain in Ecuador, Chimborazo. Tungurahua lies about 40 kilometers to the southeast. The threat of eruption from the volcano is constant. On May 16, 2006, Tungurahua erupted, covering the city with a thick layer of ash. The Ambato River cuts through the north end of the city. It is not a very wide or deep river, but can cause significant flooding during periods of heavy rainfall. Throughout the years, the river has cut a deep basin into the land, creating the need for better bridges. In October 2008, the city of Ambato finished the long-awaited Juan Leon Mira Bridge, connecting downtown Ambato to the neighborhoods of Fuco and Atocha. The span of the Ambato River cost the city $5.05 million. Climate. Ambato features an oceanic climate CFB under Köppen climate classification. Economy. Given its central location, Ambato is an important industrial hub for Ecuador. Vehicle bodywork, especially for large transport vehicles, is one of the largest employers in the city. In 2010, it was announced that Venezuela will overhaul the metal frames of almost 65% of their transportations, and much of that work is to be done in Ambato. Leather tanning also makes up a significant portion of Ambato's economic output. Many of the leather goods are sold in nearby Quisapincha or exported. Other areas of economic development include textiles, glass fabrication, foodstuffs, and shoes. As a transportation hub, Ambato also depends on small tourist sector. Though not as charming or cosmopolitan as larger cities like Quito or Guayaquil, or as attractive as smaller cities like Banos or Otavalo, Ambato's attractions include the modern cathedral and the Mira House. Tourists often use Ambato as a base for visiting nearby towns like Quisapincha or Palaro. The Monday market also brings tourists and locals alike as the streets fill with food and clothing vendors. Many consider Ambato to be a quintessential 21st century Ecuadorian city, proud of its history, but eager to emerge as a leader in industry and technology. The Festival of Fruits and Flowers. The Festival of Fruits and Flowers is held every year in Ambato to commemorate the anniversary of the earthquake that destroyed the city on August 5, 1949, where 6,000 people lost their lives. The festival was created on 29 June 1950. Although the earthquake was in August, the festival is celebrated in February to fall closer to Carnival. Music concerts and cultural events such as art exhibitions are commonly part of the festival. The rich volcanic soil of the area are home to a large number of farms and a great diversity of agricultural products. Ambateños refer to the city as the land of the Three Juans. Ambateños are commonly referred to as Guaytambos or Patojos. Points of interest. Park Juan Montalvo. In the center of the city is the emblematic Montalvo Park. Named after the Ambato-born writer Juan Montalvo, the park was built in 1905 and has served as a social gathering spot for the people of Ambato since. The park was designed by local architect Pedro Dorini. It lies at the meeting point of four important streets in Ambato: Montalvo, Sucre, Bolivar, and Castello. It also sits in the shadow of the modern cathedral, which has served as a symbol of the new Ambato. The statue of Juan Montalvo, at the center of the park, was built in Italy by Pietro Caparo. It was inaugurated in 1911. The mausoleum where Juan Montalvo is buried is just down the street. The park is currently undergoing a $450,000 renovation to restore the gates and walkways that surround the park. Quinta Juan Leon Mira, home to one of Ambato's most famous residents, the Quinta Juan Leon Mira was the villa-style house of writer Juan Leon Mira. Located on the north bank of the Ambato River in the neighborhood of Atocha, the house was built in 1874. It is now open to the public. Famous for its gardens, which are supposed to contain over 257 species of flowers, the house also boasts well-maintained colonial furniture and paintings. The properties surrounding the Quinta hold now a new botanic garden with native and foreign species. Gardens were created inspired on the continents. La Catedral. The very modern white cathedral is downtown Ambato, is perhaps the most recognizable symbol of the city. The cathedral is built on the site of the original chapel that was constructed in 1689. This was destroyed in an earthquake later, and a much larger church was built only to be destroyed again in the 1797 Riobamba earthquake. A new church was built of the same design, but again, an earthquake claimed the structure in the 1949 Ambato earthquake. The new cathedral was inaugurated in 1954 and sits across the street from Park Juan Montalvo. Central Library, located right next to the Casa de Portal, is the city's newest and largest library. The three-story library is part of the city's plan to rejuvenate the downtown area around Park Montalvo. The library contains over 70,000 titles and has many computer stations for users. The official name is the Library of the City and Province, as it serves both the city of Ambato and the larger province of Tungurahua. Park Sevelos. Within walking distance of Park Montalvo, Park Pedro Fermin Sevelos is a leafy space located on one of downtown Ambato's main thoroughfares, Cal Sevelos. Two of Ambato's most well-known schools are located on the edges of the park: a high school, Colegio Bolivar, and an elementary school, Escuela de la Providencia. In the last few years, concerns about security in the park have led city leaders to rethink the space. In July 2010, plans were made to replace many of the trees and lawns with an open plaza. The plans also called for the building of an underground parking lot beneath the square to alleviate some of Ambato's downtown parking woes. In August 2010, Mayor Barron announced that those plans had not been met with sufficient enough public support and appeared to be dead. Parc de la Familia. Parc Provincial de la Familia, or Provincial Park of the Family, is a large gathering spot located about 7 miles above Ambato. Though the park itself is not within city limits, Ambateños pack the park on weekends. Maintained by the provincial government of Tungurahua, the park is actually just outside the community of Quinta. In addition to walking paths, there are open fields, basketball and volley courts, as well as a large garden features an impressive amount of native species. On clear days, the park also affords the visitor excellent views of the city of Ambato and the constantly smoking Tungurahua volcano. Neighborhoods. Ficoa, one of the most affluent sections in the city, the neighborhood of Ficoa lines the north bank of the Ambato River across from Miraflores. The trees of Ficoa are famous for their production of succulent fruits, including peaches, pears, and a local variety of citrus. Ficoa is also home to many small restaurants which serve typical Ambateño dishes, such as lepingachos and fritada. Miraflores. Traditionally considered the most influential neighborhood, Miraflores abuts the downtown on the west side. Miraflores used to be the location of the train depot, connecting it with the city of Quito and giving it a very important position in the city. Without a passenger train through Ambato, Miraflores is now a residential neighborhood, so named because of its many flowers. Atocha. Perhaps the oldest of Ambato's neighborhoods, Atocha is famous for being the home to the Quinta Juan Leon Mira, and thus being an important part of Ambateño and Ecuadorian culture. Together with Ficoa, Atocha makes up the north end of the city. Atocha is also known for the production of colada morada, a purple spiced drink that is traditionally consumed with bread. Around Carnival, Ambateños flock to Atocha for the drink. Ingaherco, small quiet neighborhood in Ambato, home to the industrial corporation Plasticacho Industrial S.A. Ambato's bus terminal, is located in Ingaherco, which sits right next to Technical University of Ambato Universidad Technica de Ambato. Transportation. As an important transportation hub, Ambato is connected with other cities through Ecuador's widely used bus system. Although there used to be a train service running through Ambato from Quito to Riobamba, this service has long since closed. Ambato has an airport, the Chachon Airport in the Azamba neighborhood, but it is not used for commercial flights. The city's main bus terminal is located in the Ingaherco neighborhood, which lies on the north side of downtown. This main terminal, or terminal terrestre as it is known in Spanish, serves some of the country's numerous bus operators. There are plans to renovate the aging bus terminal, making it the main terminal in a network of terminals around the city. As it stands, travelers can also catch buses traveling to the south from unlabeled stops along the Pan American Highway. Education. Universidad Technica de Ambato. The main public university in Ambato, La Technica or LAU, was created on April 18, 1969, in accordance with Ecuadorian law. A technical university, La Technica offers courses in the many fields of the sciences and humanities. There are 3 campuses located in Ambato. The main campus is located across from the main bus terminal in the Ingaherco neighborhood. Pontificia Universidad Católica del Ecuador Puce Seed Ambato. La Católica is a branch of Quito's Catholic University. The Ambato campus was created on 13 January 1982 by the Bishop of Ambato, Monsignor Vicente Cisneros. The university wasn't completed until 1994 when classes first began, even though the languages courses were the very first goal of the new campus. The university offers courses in both undergraduate and graduate levels as well as open courses of English and French. Universidad Regional Autónoma de los Andes Unions. It is a private university in Ambato. High schools. Ambato contains a wide selection of public and private high schools. In Ambato, all high school students must wear uniforms. Formerly, many of the high schools in Ambato were either all-girls or all-boys schools, but most schools have begun to accept members of the opposite sex. Some of the most well-known high schools in Ambato include Colegio Instituto Tecnológico Superior Bolivar, Instituto Superior Tecnológico Docente Guayaquil, Centro Educativo Diocesano San Pio X, Colegio de la Inmaculada, Colegio Técnico Ruminahui, Colegio Menor in Domirica, Colegio Santo Domingo de Guzman, Unidad Educativa Mayor Ambato, Colegio Técnico Atahualpa, Colegio Universitario Juan Montalvo, Unidad Educativa Biling Aitnes, Centro Educativo Biling International Sebai, Instituto Técnico Superior Hispano America, Colegio Técnico Superior Terso de Molina, Liceo Policial Galomino, Colegio Natalia Vega, Instituto Agropecuario Luis A. Martinez's, Unidad Educativa Bolivar, Unidad Educativa Celite. Sports. Ambateños enjoy a variety of sports, but none so much as soccer. Ambato plays host to 3 professional teams, Macora and Technico currently play in Soraya and Mashicrana in Sarai B. All three teams play in the centrally located Estadio Bellavista, and Mashicrana also maintains one of the world's highest altitude practice stadiums in the Chibuleo community, about 20 minutes outside of Ambato, although as it exceeds FIFA altitude rules, it is not used for series fixtures. None of the three teams has been wildly successful in Ecuador or beyond, however they maintain a loyal following of spectators. Matches between Macora and Technico U are known as El Clásico in Matino English, the Ambato Derby. In 2007 both Derby teams briefly played in Soraya for the first time in over 10 years, and they have been regular fixtures of Soraya in the years since. In general, Ambato has at least one team in Soraya at any given time, and in 2018 Macora has led the series. There are many other sports popular among Ambateños including basketball, tennis, swimming, and equivolley. Equivolley is a variation of volleyball, played specifically in Ecuador. It features 3 players per team on a small court with a high net. Players normally use a soccer ball in place of a volleyball. Equivolley is popular in Ambato and the surrounding regions, where it is played both on formal courts in city parks as well as on the side streets of barrios. The Plaza de Toros Monumental is located in Ambato. The bullring has a capacity of 11,000 and it opened in 1963. Basketball is also gaining popularity in Ambato. There is a very fierce rivalry in basketball between two of Ambato's largest high schools, Colegio Nacional Bolivar and Colegio Técnico Guayaquil. These games are usually hosted in the Coliseo Cerrado de Deportes, the large coliseum across the street from Estadio Bellavista. The Coliseo Cerrado is also the venue for the beauty pageant portion of the Festival of Fruits and Flowers.